Okay. So, homework 6 is posted. 100 points on this one. And I just put a note here. Just take a look in your textbook and the slides and stuff from last class, 315, because we talked about all the things for this assignment, basically. So you're going to make, for part 1, 2 diagrams. You're going to make a context level diagram. So, and I just took the bullet right out of the book. The context level diagram is a data flow diagram of the scope of an organizational system that shows the system boundaries, external entities that interact with the system, and the major information flows between the entities in the system. So the system in this case is your project. Context level does not have data stores. It's just showing the scope. So it's probably going to be pretty simple as far as your guys' projects. Level 0 is breaking down more level. That's showing data stores, and that's breaking down the individual processes. I stated on here you should have at least one, but you might have between 1 and 4 if there's different components that you want to break down. So I don't think that's too difficult. I'm recommending Lucidchart. I'm not forcing that you use Lucidchart. No matter what you use, though, I want you to take your links and put them in a wiki page inside of Taiga. So you should add a wiki page that it's diagrams or something like that, and then just have a link, context level diagram. Here's the link to it. What's that thing?
It's this new thing. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called a tablet.
I know. I've just never seen you break one out before.
I'm doing stuff.
Oh.
Just got to reformat them.
Are those like
Nexus 9s?
9s? Yeah.
This one's the one I had yesterday with the user.
I got one of those developer coupons that you can get a Google Pixel C tablet for $349.
They're like, I think that was supposed to be like, it was not supposed to be an Android tablet when it first started out.
Yeah.
And then you could just tell, like, they were like, oh, shit, it's got to come out in 2 months. Just put something on it and release it. Like,
and all the complaints I saw about it with Android N will be taken care of. So, I mean, it's pretty decent piece of hardware.
Yeah.
It's just the software doesn't really work that good on it. But
yeah, exactly.
for $349, I was like, I'd almost want to get
when
one.
Android N comes out, that'll actually make it a pretty decent thing. But when it's already been released, the first previews was
they popped out with a surprise preview that no one saw coming.
Well, yeah, it always comes out at I/O.
Yeah,
and it came out 3-4 months before I/O. So
it would be kind of redundant with this, but I don't know.
Well, I still think Windows works better as that kind of operating system anyway.
Yeah. Right.
So Android's not real great for it. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of those in my internship.
Well, I know, but I'm saying like
to
be a actual like laptop replacement.
The regular Surface,
I see some of
Windows
those
for
in my
that.
internship crash.
Oh, really?
When people get viruses on them. So it's amazing how many times I see those getting fixed after I'm doing my internship.
What, those?
No, the ones before.
The Surface, the regular Surface.
Yeah.
Oh. If it's not a Surface Pro, it wasn't even worth having. Like
the newest Surface, the Surface 3 is pretty good. But,
well, yeah, because it doesn't have an ARM processor.
Right.
It's got
that's an Atom process.
Yeah, but it's still a full version
It's
of
still
Windows. It's not just like half-assed, like, what was it, RT or whatever? Yeah.
I've seen a lot of those in my internships needing to be fixed.
So the second part of this assignment is you're going to create at least 20 user stories. I think it should be easy to come up with that many. Basically, everything somebody can do on your system is a user story.
It's got Minecraft on it.
So you're going to create the user stories, then you're going to prioritize that list, highest priority, or things that have to be done before any of the rest of them can work should be at the top, because when we get to actually developing these, we'll pull the top ones into a sprint. And that'll be the first set of stuff you'll do. You may never get to the stuff at the bottom, but you should still, don't just build the user stories based on what you think you're going to get done. Build them on what, if this was a done product, what it should do. You don't have to do the sprints yet, but do try to estimate with the points, more points for things that you think are harder and will take more time, less points for things that won't. I graded your homework 4s. That was the creating your initial user stories. I closed the sprint and the task that you assigned to me and commented on it. Did it
I got an email.
update
Yeah,
you?
I saw-
Okay.
I saw.
So I commented about your project and about your user stories. So you should be able to take that feedback. A lot of them were very good. You're on the right track. You already have 5 if you had good ones. So some of the ones you have may be a little too broad, and you'll kind of break one into a couple. And that's the idea, like we talked about Tuesday. Not too specific, but not too broad. You know, that's relative. What does that mean, right? Like that's just right. Okay.
Okay. Damn it.
And then the only comment I had on some of them is make sure they're focused on the user. There was a few that got mixed in that were like, as a user, I want to be able to enter stuff into an SQL database. User doesn't care that it's an SQL database. They just care that it's storing whatever they're doing. That's mixing a user thing and a development thing. If you've looked at Taiga,
It always just sounds like you're saying tiger with a list. Every time.
am I even saying it how it should be said? I mean, that's just how
I just keep thinking of what was it, Samsung's operating system, Tizer or whatever.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
every time you say that, I'm just like, what?
It could be Taiga, but I don't know. Taiga seems right. So if we're looking at the backlogs in here, I changed the settings on all of yours so it would show this burn down thing. This will be more meaningful once we actually create sprints and assign them. But what will be able to happen, and I'm gonna actually no, I don't want to screw yours up.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna just make a new one. Didn't give it points or anything, but if I assign something to a sprint, then the sprint has its own task board, and we can actually take them in here and break them further into tasks. So it will likely be a user needs to be able to log into the system so that they can blah, blah, blah. That would be a user story. We'll then break them further down that in order to do this, I need to create tables in my database, et cetera, et cetera. So this is where the developer side of breaking it down will come in, is breaking these tasks down within our user stories. So we'll get to that later, but just kind of, you start with the user story, then you turn it into your specific tasks. So now I want to delete this.
Scary monkey band.
One other thing that I didn't see in here until I was grading yours is that it came up on that task thing, and I was like, what the heck is that? It's like the poison bottle. Did you guys see that?
The Russian word for forest.
Oh,
Why it's tree.taiga.
this iocane? What is that?
Isn't that from the Princess Bride?
I've never seen it.
Because he can,
It was something like that.
he
The
makes
poison.
himself use the iocane powder so he doesn't die.
Okay. So like it says, you can click this if you're overwhelmed by a task, and like
I
you
gave that to
you want other people to know you're overwhelmed and that you might need some help. Like it's a good idea, but it's a reference I didn't get. I was like, what is that? Like,
Input, output of cocaine.
That's like what I thought. It does say to this fictional deadly poison, so I think, yeah, you're right. But
That's great.
I knew something.
I didn't even catch that.
I love that movie.
okay, so that makes more sense now. So, oh, I was going to delete that. So yeah, make sure you focus on the user with these, not on stuff you have to do. That'll be the next part. So remember, just kind of looking forward. Homework 6 is this. That's due next Thursday. I'm gone Tuesday, so we don't have class Tuesday at all. And I'll send another email about that. I'll grade homework 5 tonight. I mean, all I really have to do is look at GitHub and make sure you did what I said. So that's not really that hard to grade.
Do you want to hear how to pronounce Taiga?
Sure.
Okay, we're saying like.
Okay, it is Taiga. Okay.
Taiga.
All right. So next Thursday, I should have homework 7 for you, which will be to create an ER diagram of the data for your project.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you can't wait, can you?
Nope. Okay.
And then homework 8 will be assigned before spring break.
And then we won't do it over.
You won't do it during spring break, so it'll be due towards the end of the week after spring break. That will be the mock-ups. I haven't picked the tool yet, but I'll pick one that we can do the sweet wireframe mock-ups of our interface.
What if we just start coding?
If you want to mock it up in the coding language you're using,
I already
but
kinda have-
not write the code behind it,
Yeah.
then that's also going to be fine. You can screenshot, like, here's what my main window, because some people have been working on it already. So the reason we want to use the mock-ups is so you can kind of know what you're shooting for. But if you already know, then that's fine. I also wanted to show, like I promised before, a teeny bit on GitHub, just to make sure that we're all comfortable with this. So I made this project that's just this class. So the simple part was just making edits in here, right? So that was the easy part. What's not immediately obvious is how you make edits, but that's what I typed.
Don't type that into the search engine.
Probably not what we want. So when I have a repository here, there's no local changes. I can view the history, and I think.
Thank you for responding to my.
Did that help? Did you get it figured
Yes.
out?
Yeah,
Okay.
I read what you said in it. Yeah.
Because this fools everybody. How do you edit these files on your local machine? So if I right click on this and do open in Explorer, of course it's going to come over here. It's going to show me the files inside my project. All I do is open it up and edit it in whatever I want. So if I do open with, I'll just do it with this code editor. And I make changes. Oh, not that keyboard, this keyboard.
Like to confuse yourself.
Why aren't you working? So if I make a change here and save it, it'll immediately come up here as a change. And if I click on it, it tells me what I did. And then I can, now I'm not in a branch right now. I'm connected to the master. If you followed, you should really branch off before you start making changes. And then you merge them back. You do a pull request. I kind of skip that part. But so that would be there. I can right click on this and discard changes. It'll throw those out. It'll go undo what I just changed. Now, the other thing that's not plainly obvious, so you start working on your project, want to add files. Right now we have a README file. All you have to do is drop them in here into the folder that GitHub is in. So I have this artillery time thing I was making. I just messed around with this last spring when I was student teaching.
Don't talk about that too loud. You're gonna
Yeah. Why did I call it artillery time? I was making it a play on something else. I don't know.
Sure,
Burger
good
time?
excuse.
Burger time? It's just a stupid Python program that I'll show you. 'Cause
Well, it's Python, so of course it's
You
stupid.
beat me to it.
it's just to shoot a projectile with a velocity and an angle and then simulate the physics of it coming back down, which is surprisingly difficult to do. You'd think this would be like I think I spent a couple hours getting to do this, but Python is not great for graphical interfaces. It's awesome for other stuff, but anyway. So I drug that artillery time in here. It's in here. I can add it into my project. Like this would be like initial commit. And I could put some more comments, commit to master. Now it's in there. It would be in my history. I added this. If I go to GitHub online and I refresh this page, oh, I didn't sync it.
That or you broke the internet, one of the two.
You know, I don't know why when I maximize this on here, it's cutting it off. GitHub assumes you have a higher resolution than these monitors can show. I have to sync that out to the server.
Those are the greatest monitors too.
But when you full screen, you'd think it would shrink, right? But nope, it won't shrink that far.
Well, honestly, who still has a 4x3
Yeah,
monitor?
nobody.
Yeah.
So now
Or 15. 15.
it's in here.
16.
Now, if I'd have done a branch, I would have to make those changes. And when I was happy with the branch as a whole, I'd do the pull request to bring it back into the master. I just kind of skipped that part of it here. So as we get to the coding, really you just drop stuff into here, into your GitHub folder. The easiest way to get there is to click and do open and explore, because that'll show you right where it's at.
1610.
Now you can put folders in here. I could do a new folder. Maybe this is where I'm.
See, that just means subconsciously you hate the keyboard on that.
I think I'm going to Best Buy to buy the Surface Pro 4 one
I'm
after
telling you,
I
that
leave
one's
here.
50 times better.
The keyboard or the actual Surface Pro?
The key.
Not the keyboard. The computer is fine. Like the 4 is better, but not like that much different. It's the keyboard. This
I
one
brought
is.
in the new keyboard.
This
for
one
me.
is like really flimsy, and the keys.
Do you have the keyboard with you?
No, I don't.
Shame
Yeah, I just carry the keyboard around for shits and giggles. Like,
I do.
So if I wanted to add some images in here, into my image folder, I don't know, just take one of these ones
Oh,
from
come
school.
on, do the Safari Landy one.
Oh,
Like,
that's Hawaii.
Uh,
Then these would show up. Here's Copter Club.
is that legal? Should you really be showing their likeness on the internet?
Oh, God, I did it again.
Isn't there some like FERPA against that or something?
This one's already all over the internet. I think that one was on the news article, maybe. I can't remember. No, maybe not that one, other ones. So I commit it, now I got to sync it. Once it's done, when I go to GitHub, I'll have a folder. You can't just commit an empty folder. It has to have actually something in it, but then it'll have that in here. Images, Copter Club. So this is the most difficult part of GitHub. Is just people struggle with how do I get the files in there, and it's nice once you understand, because it's agnostic to what you edit it with and how you do it. It'll pick up anything. It's just until you understand that workflow. So let's see. Lucid chart. I would recommend that educational one, because then you can have as many as you want, and it's pretty good. Some people said theirs ran out, but the free one will let you have up to a certain number of diagrams. You're only going to need to make, well, it's automatically coming up with the student one here, but you're going to have to make not that many. So
was mine from last semester.
Okay. All right. There's
Who's that guy?
Safari. I got the flower in my ear and everything.
Oh, I never noticed that before.
I didn't notice it for like a year either until I was like, "What's that white thing?"
Like I said, I'm just
Yeah.
waiting to click on it. It'd be like you standing there, like, "Hi, we're gonna go swim with sharks today." Like,
Yeah, I always thought I'm like afraid of water and ocean, that I would never swim in the ocean. And when I was there, I was like snorkeling with all sorts of weird stuff. I don't know. It's just doesn't seem as bad once you do it. But so I could have said that.
You watch South Park?
Yeah.
You see that one where Cartman was pretending to be Beaver?
no,
It was an older one.
yeah.
Oh,
I-
really piss him off now.
I just watched that one recently. Yeah.
I'm not gonna say the line.
I've been watching the new one. The new one with PC Principal is like just, yeah.
I watched that season on
PC
all
grab.
through that on Hulu. And, yeah. All right. Do we have questions? Anything else we want to talk about?
Where's the biggest turn?
I mean, we're kind of in the portion of class where a lot of times this will be what it is, and then it'll turn into lab time if you want it. Because I mean, we flew through all the content we needed to know. Now it's just let's see what we can come up, what we can code. So
Yeah, I've been doing some PHP for mine because I never used PHP.
What's PHP?
No idea.
That was a-
now, for those of you that are doing web, I will need to find, or you can help me find somewhere we can host it, because you need a web server.
What about the school?
I was gonna say you can host it on the schools. All you
Yeah.
have to do is request access.
And they have PHP, right?
I would assume so.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think so.
It depends.
Like,
It's pretty easy to find free or like almost free PHP, MySQL hosting. It only starts costing money if you want to use like SQL Server. But like yours was SQL Server, we could convert that into MySQL in like nothing. I mean, well, yeah, I could help you.
well, I mean, like I've got the Adobe Creative Suite, and you get it's called Business Catalyst, which is a free hosting thing. I'm pretty sure you can host PHP off of that.
I'll try to poke around and see what I can find because you're going to need it. You're probably will figure you have it. You're going to need some kind of host. And then I was going to tell you, we should look at pre-existing forum or chat packages that you could build
Yeah.
your site around because you don't, those exist.
Right, no, yeah, I
There's no
was,
chat things on
when I
there.
talked to Damon about, we were just brainstorming, he basically said the same thing that you did.
I've implemented a PHP one. I mean, if you Google PHP forums, it's probably like the first thing that comes up. And it's very good. PHP BB.
Okay,
So you might
It's all
poke
letters.
around this, but like building a site that uses that as a component of it is probably going to be where you would want to go. So
okay.
How do you spell that?
I'll look for hosts, and then yeah. So we're only going to have 3 classes before spring break, right?
874.
I knew it.
We'll have class next Thursday. We'll have class Tuesday, Thursday, and then it's spring break. And then so you'll have your mock-up assignment that'll be due the week we come back, somewhere in here. And then that'll give us 1, 2, 3, 4, really like 5, because we'll do our presentations in the latter part of finals week, almost 5 weeks to develop. So that's pretty good. It's a lot better than when I looked at their schedule from last year or what happened in databases, right? So
We don't talk.
And do you know
Are you-
if you're gonna be teaching databases next semester?
I don't know.
Are you teaching databases this semester? I thought I heard you talking. Like employee things in AD.
Oh no, I teach intro to computer modeling.
Ah,
So we were doing access and I was doing exact employee department. It's the easiest example for
Yeah.
a relationship between two tables that I can really come up with. So
No, it makes a lot of sense.
I hated that class. That was such a boring class. Like,
modeling.
oh my god.
I took it online through the university. She's like, here's the book, have fun. It's due in a month.
I had it with Tom, and I literally showed up the first day, and I never showed up after that because it was all done through whatever that my
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
didn't
my
get-
lab.
The thing is, though, it's
It's
very difficult for a lot of the students that don't have experience with that stuff. For
Oh, yeah,
some,
and-
it's so easy, and then
See,
others,
I think that is
that's
that
difficult.
that class should be a class that every degree has to take. Because I know
You're gonna run it.
I know so many people that are like in the teaching like my girlfriend's in the teaching the
Beyonce.
education. She has no idea how to use, Excel or anything like that. It's like, don't they teach you that?
Yeah.
You're gonna use that kind of stuff. Nope, you don't have to take anything for it.
My complaint for you guys in databases, you heard me complain about, it's like you get used to Access, and then when you have to do a real database, you're like
What the hell?
the rug's pulled out from under you because you're used to something that kind of does everything for you, right? Like,
Well, I can tell you one thing. The only database I've ever done is in Access, but I did it so long ago I couldn't do it again.
well, and then it
So-
depends. When I teach Access, I inject a lot of fundamental database stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people that teach it, I don't think they really have the knowledge to do that. So you're kind of getting the high level overview of it. So yeah, I hope I teach databases in the fall and this class again in the spring, but I don't know what'll, things are in such, yeah. Plus I'll probably be full-time at the school instead of 2/3 time. So I would have to do it later in the day, like at 3:40 or something, because it would have to be after school's done. So I don't know. Hopefully they start figuring some of that stuff out.
It's the
Sometime
university.
soon.
They're not going to figure any of that out.
All right, so I'm gonna close down the hangout. Someone is on there.
It's Aaron.
Okay. Bye, Aaron.